Good evening. You're back on Studio Q on Bent TV, and we're looking at the Lavender screen again for a very special release on DVD. And I think it's appropriate that in this, the 50th year of telly in Oz, that we're finally seeing on DVD this, the iconic number 96. Nice little double DVD release of the 1974 film and some nice extras, documentaries, some great interviews and what have you. And in honour of the release, we've got a very special fella here with me, another Melbourne icon, John Orchik. John, welcome to you.
Welcome, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, it's an honour.
Oh, thank you, it's great to have you. And we'll get straight to business. Number 96, when you heard this was coming out, was it a sort of a case of, here we go again?
No.
No?
No, because it's so far removed now that it was really, oh, right, okay, well, that'll be nice. I'm bored with people going, oh, we're going to do another Cop Shop reunion. And you go, oh, please. But this is so far away.
Right.
And it was different. Mm-hmm. It was in an era where things were very exciting.
Yes. So being from that time, being there on the spot, we hear how legendary it was, what an effect it had on the public. Was it as big as legend has it?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. I think the entire, I don't know, you might have called it the Aquarian Revolution, the age of Aquarius coming and all the rest of it.
Hair and all that.
Hair and all that kind of stuff. Nudity. People said it's all right to show your body.
Yeah.
And they were also saying it's all right to flaunt your sexuality, whatever it might be. Nobody actually worried about it.
So
we've turned the clock
back. Have we gone back?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Why do you think this is?
I guess someone might say that the conservative nature of governments have pushed us back that way, or people, or religions.
Churches,
what someone said, crowd control. Maybe we were getting out of control. Maybe
perhaps.
Freedom was too free.
But
it was a wonderful time, I can tell you that. It was fantastic. I remember I lived in Sydney at that time, and I'd left Perth, and the streets there was a buzz around. And to go and see Hair was coming and Jimmy Sharman was directing it, and then later on Jesus Christ Superstar, and prior to that bands, clothing, music. The late 60s, early 70s were fabulous.
Coming from Perth, was there a big difference from west to east coast in that regard?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Oh yes. Yeah. Perth was much more conservative. Much more conservative. But then of course I was in the theatre then, and not even in film and television, so all I knew was the theatre.
Did they? I suppose they tended to have a bit more room to manoeuvre in theatre, didn't they? Being avant-garde.
Much more. And theatre was all about experimentation and the experimental theatre, and what's on off Broadway, not what's on Broadway or off Broadway.
Yeah.
The musical was still there, as it always will be there, and but Perth was smaller.
Of course.
And you
still
suddenly
is.
move in, still is, but suddenly you move into Sydney and you go, oh wow, hey, and that was a buzz.
Yeah.
And it was clubs, everything had about it this feeling of it's all right. But I think that was the philosophy, wasn't it? It's okay to be who you are, and it didn't matter what, and nobody judged who you were.
Well, even, and the irony is now...
Well, they did.
Of course,
behind closed doors, but nobody kind of did it. But nobody said you can't do it. You see what I mean? What I'm saying is I think that there was no political correctness that said you must not do this. You must not be prejudiced against. And I think the moment you do that, the very opposite thing happens.
Red rag to a bull.
Somewhere in the background, someone says, yes, I will.
Yeah.
Someone says, you cannot say nigger anymore. Right? So what do they do in the South? It goes in the other direction. Yes, we will.
Of course.
But if you just left it alone, time will have eradicated all that. Yes, there are pockets. And some people want to evangelically, and I say this in the right way, want to move it forward faster. But I think in moving things forward faster, it goes too fast, and suddenly you come to a stop and you move backwards.
True. I mean, do you think that's the case with multiculturalism?
Totally.
It's been rammed politically down our throats too much.
In the King era, man, it was the worst thing they ever did. And now everyone's going,
Whereas people, if they were just left to it, just get on, form your own relationships.
And they do.
They do, yeah. As with gays.
As with anything in life. I mean, to me it's an anathema, even though I'm not gay, but I have had, most of my friends over the years have all been gay. So therefore, to me, it was
naturalist breathing.
Not even a thing to think about.
Well, there you go. It comes from John himself. Politician's butt out. Leave us to it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now we've gone off on a nice little tangent there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's beautiful. In number 96, you were in the series before the film, weren't you? You're probably best remembered for the film. What are we talking here? 73, 74 you went into the series? Okay.
72, because I was with the Melbourne Theatre Company 70, 71 and almost half of 72. And then I left because my agent told me to, and I went back to Sydney, and the third thing I ever did on screen was number 96.
The third thing?
Third thing.
And how did you come to get into the role? Did you just read for it, or...?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
I did. I read actually for another role that ultimately Tommy Oliver played, which was Jack Sellers.
Oh, yes, yes.
So, and Tommy got that, and then they rang up and said, look, we really want you in the show. You know, that's happened to me twice, can I say this, in my life, where I've auditioned for something and I haven't actually got that role, and then the producers have rung and said, we want to write you in. So they wrote this character for me.
Right, so he was specifically with you in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Simon Carr.
Simon Carr. Yeah.
Maggie. Ah, the Three Musketeers, I see.
Maggie.
That's who I am, dear. Maggie Bloody Cameron. I'm not good enough to have dinner with, of course. Well, I judge a woman by the company she keeps. And you, Vera Collins, obviously believe in fair.
Well, now listen, Maggie.
Why should I listen to a screaming little poofter like you, Mr. Finlayson? And I use the word Mr. against my better judgment.
Maggie, we merely went out for dinner.
Damn it, Vera, you must be desperate to waste your so-called charms on a screaming closet queen like Simon Carr here. No wonder no decent girl's been able to lay him. He's obviously too busy cruising the men's lavatories.
Thanks for spreading the news around so quickly, Vera.
Now, he's best remembered probably for being in the film and the controversy surrounding him, but I believe certain changes were made to the character between television and big screen.
No, it was very funny, really. I mean, anything you think about it, you go, oh, God, you're an idiot, John. Absolute twit. I was here in Melbourne. The character I played in the series was straight. He was bedding Elaine Lee and Bettina Welsh at the same time. And he was a designer of some kind, as in, not fashion, as in architect.
Something like interior
that,
design. Something.
So, and well-heeled, as it were, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I finished my stint, which was about 3 months or so, and finished. And in the same year, I came down here to Melbourne. I did a film with Jack Thompson and Jackie Weaver and co. Peterson.
Peterson, yeah.
Right? David Williamson's. While I was doing that, my agent rang me and said, they're doing a film of number 96 and they want you in the movie to play the same character. I said, great, send me down the script. I read the script.
But
my God, suddenly I couldn't get it up with Elaine Lee. And there I was getting it up with Joe Hasham.
Well,
shock horror. I wasn't shock horror.
Not really.
If that's what I was asked to play in the first place, or if that character had another name, there would have been no problem.
But you didn't. It didn't sit well
Young
with you.
Actor,
Couldn't.
you see, that says that's not the character I played. You can't play my character. So I said no.
Right. So you actually.
I said no. I'm not doing it. And Bill Harmon really wanted me to do it. To cut a long story shorter, Bill finally had me go into the office when I got back to Sydney after shooting the film here. And he said, what do you want? You want more money? Is that what it is? He's this New York Jew.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I don't want any more money, Bill. I want my character back.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, you can't do this. How can he suddenly just become gay? And he said, why not? I thought, well, shit, I don't have an answer. Why not?
Well, he didn't pitch it to you quite right, you see. If he'd pitched it to you that Simon was actually in the closet and he was, you see,
that would
you would have jumped on that, wouldn't you? Yeah.
But they didn't, and it was just suddenly there. And anyhow, the long shot is naturally I did it.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun.
You had a ball or two?
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Is history, it is indeed. So the main clinch, well, the main controversial part of the film, you and Joe.
That was the first male kiss on television, I believe.
Well, yeah, it was. It was.
Do you know, at the time, none of that has an impact.
No.
All it was Joe
just a
and me,
job.
it was a giggle.
So it was a fun
And then we'd
shoot.
go, oh, these two guys are going to kiss. And Joe and I thinking, well, what's the big deal, you know?
So it's pretty cool for you guys. There was
There was no hassle for us at all.
Yeah.
In fact, we laughed about it. In fact, on Peter Luck's Where Are They Now, when Peter was doing the show, not the current series, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they brought Joe out from Jakarta, and on stage we were asked to reenact the kiss again. So we did.
Wow.
And it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Joe's a great guy. I mean, we were very good friends. There was nothing awkward about it. I couldn't understand. I think years later, there was more controversy about it than at the time.
So did you get much feedback from the public, personal? Like, did anybody accost you in the street and say you know? No. Nobody said, "Oh, you're an old puff" or anything like that. You know, no, not at all. People actually said, "Gee, that was courageous," and I thought, why? Why? Yeah.
I'm an actor and I was doing my job.
Joe Hasham and Chad Haywood, of course, Don and Dudley, the gay boys in it, they're on record as saying at the time they got a lot of mail from gay viewers, closeted gay viewers, and of course at that time it was freer and easier, but perhaps a lot more difficult to be out. And they said they got a lot of personal mail from guys saying, "Thank you so much, and you have made our lives so much better," and got it into the spotlight. And they could empathise a lot more. I'm just wondering if you got any such correspondence from anybody and whether that brought any new understanding of the issues to you.
I used to get quite a lot of correspondence, not necessarily referring to that, but people saying, thank you for not being prejudiced, because my image was very butch, very straight.
Ladies' man.
You know,
yes.
all that. And so suddenly when people discovered that that wasn't necessarily the real me, that there was somebody else in there, that this kind of archaic image wasn't there anymore, they began to relate, and I got a lot of letters. More so once Cop Shop started, would you believe, that then used to refer back to the number 96 thing.
Right, okay.
Which was very interesting. That, mind you, there was only a decade separating.
Yeah,
Not
it
even
was late
that.
70s, wasn't
Not
it?
even that, because 5-6 years.
Yeah, we went in, what, 77-ish or so to Cop Shop?
77, 78,
Yeah.
And number 96 finished, I think, 74. I think the movie was released in 73.
74, as
74?
I recall, yeah.
Did very well.
I mean, that image you talk about, the ladies' man image, that was all to the benefit of gay depiction anyway, I think, because it proved, along with Don and Joe Hasham's depiction, they weren't all mincing.
No, I would hope so.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was terrific. And I loved the way Joe played it.
Yeah.
He played it just absolutely straight.
Straight down the line,
Didn't go anywhere with it, which is, I think, wonderful.
And
it made it so acceptable. You see, people didn't think... now, Duds was different.
And ironically, he was the one who turned straight later in the show, thanks to, I don't know who the hell came up with that concept.
Probably David Sale or Johnny White.
Probably, yeah.
Or Johnny. They both have rather... no, lurid's not the right word. Broad imaginations.
Yes, indeed.
David's lovely. I last saw him at a friend of mine's funeral, actually, Bob Huber, who was one of the original producers of the show, about 18 months ago.
And David Sale commentates on the DVD, so if you get that, it's very interesting. Chats with Andrew Mercado and Elaine Lee, so they had quite a nice little discourse.
Oh, Elaine,
things.
darling Elaine, she was so lovely. Because in the film, though, you see, I had a nude scene with Elaine and also with Joe.
Yeah.
Now, the hysterical part of both of these was doing the nude scene with Elaine. She was just worried. She said, darling, please, cover up the fat bits. Hold on and cover up the fat bits, darling. So I spent the entire scene looking after her. And I could relax with Joe. We didn't have to worry about covering up the fat bits, dear. So it was great. It was great. I had a fantastic time.
Good to hear. But subsequent to the release of the film and the controversial kiss and what have you, the kiss disappeared.
You tell me that. I didn't know. I had no idea.
The kiss actually was excised from all known prints of the film, and there's not actually any footage of it that anybody knows about in existence.
As I said to you earlier on, I can only assume that the distributor had done that or had ordered it being done, And why they weren't showing it on television, I don't know. When they did show it on TV, maybe it was too early in a time slot where. But then they do it. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it must be censorship. The kiss doesn't appear on the DVD or anywhere else, but it happened a lot to the television episodes. Like Sydney apparently got, as they discuss on the DVD, Sydney apparently got scenes that nowhere else got because it went on first in Sydney, and then they thought, oh no, we can't have that in Melbourne or Adelaide, or people can't cope with that.
I was there for the premiere, and at the premiere, it was all there in the premiere on the big screen.
Yeah. And be sure to tune into Studio Q next week for part 2 of our chat with John about his career post number 96.
Thank you for staying tuned to Studio Q. It's just a quick call for volunteers here at Bent TV. Don't forget you can contact us, feedback@benttv.org.au, or the old snail mail, PO Box 6256, St Kilda Road Central, Melbourne 8008. And we need volunteers in all kinds of areas, including web design, in here in the studio, and well, editors, or if you're an editor, we love you already. But just to prove that there are volunteers here, we've got 2 new volunteers up here on the couch with us this week. Firstly, Orlando, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And Rodney, how are you?
Very well.
And I asked the guys just previously, and I'll ask them again, how did you hear about Bent TV?
I was a regular viewer.
Oh, there you
I've
go.
seen the program and seen some coverage in local newspapers and things. So.
Now, I know we don't blog as far as Amsterdam, Orlando, so how did you hear about Bent TV?
Well, I recently moved to Melbourne. I was living in Sydney before, and I was looking for volunteer work. I got onto Channel 31's website and I found out about Bent TV, and it just seemed like a great team to work with.
We are a great team to work with, please believe me. So don't forget, you too can volunteer, or if you'd like to support us here at Bent TV on Channel 31, you can subscribe. I think it's only about $30 a year, isn't it, Lynn? Yep, Lynn's nodding away. And you'd really help us out with equipment and costs, and the devil himself, insurance. So don't forget, keep tuned to Studio Q here at Bent TV, Channel 31.
You dig a little deeper, you might be surprised. There's more going on than you could ever fantasize. Yeah, dig a little deeper, you just might find a few little things that just might blow your mind. Come on now, I dare you. Come on now, I didn't mean to scare you. Dig a little deeper. Yeah, dig deeper down, it ain't no sin. Abandon your armor and dive right in. Yeah, dig deeper down, don't be afraid. You just might find a place you'd like to stay. Come on now, I'm waiting. Come on now, you're hesitating. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Yeah, dig a little more with your dirty hands. You say you're nervous, I understand. Yeah, dig a little more, show no restraint. You're getting closer and I can't wait. Come on
Today we're talking to Michelle Parsons, a local lesbian musician. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Now, just to start off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
What would you like to know? Local musician, Melbourne-based, been playing the scene for about 10 years now.
Excellent. And how many albums have you come out with?
One, funny enough, in 10 years, but another one due out this year.
Oh, fantastic. Whenabouts this year were you thinking of you got?
Oh, who knows? It's one of those things, you know, best laid plans of mice and men. But,
fantastic.
Hopefully before the end of the year, obviously.
Excellent. We'll cross fingers for you on that one. Have you come up with a name for it yet, so we know what to keep an eye out for?
There's two options. It could be a little deeper or dig.
A little deeper or dig. I like the theme that you've got going there. So how did you get started in music?
That's a really long story, but the short story is I didn't pick up a guitar until I was 22. Then it was kind of playing around, you know, playing in my bedroom, playing for friends, and then friends would start saying, oh, come play at my party. So I'd start playing. Then they, you know, as nice friends do, they started saying, oh, you should be playing gigs, you should be doing gigs. So I used to say to them, yeah, before my 30th birthday, I'll do a gig. And unfortunately, that approached very quickly. And so I went for an audition at a little bar called Joey's in St Kilda, and thinking I'll just do the audition and I'll get out of it and say to them, oh, I tried. And I walked off the stage and the manager offered me a residency every Sunday. So
fantastic.
That's how it started.
And whereabouts are you based? So you're based in Melbourne?
I'm based in Melbourne.
Have you taken your act anywhere else around Australia?
No,
or the
funny
world?
enough, I haven't really toured all that much. I do a Melissa Etheridge tribute show every now and then, and we took that to Adelaide, but most of the gigs I play are in Melbourne, yeah.
Excellent. Well, why would you want to move? It's a fabulous city.
Well, I love Melbourne. I don't want to be based anywhere else.
Fantastic. So what was your most memorable gig? I heard that you had a fan at the Glass House once.
Well, there was that gig, yeah. We won't talk about that one. At the most memorable as far as, look, probably two, and they were like a day apart. So the first Melissa tribute show we did at the Corner, that was huge, and that was fun, part of a Midsummer Festival. And then the following day, got to play Pride March, which was awesome. That was awesome to look out on that many people. Yeah, that was fun.
Fantastic. Now, do you have like a fan base that could be defined, or is it a bit of a mixed fan base? Or
look, it's a real mixed. Yeah, obviously a lot of the girls, a lot of the women, but you would be surprised how many straight guys come to the Melissa tribute show or come to gigs. It's a real broad base, like from 50 to 18.
Fantastic. So have you got any plans to go back out on the road with the Melissa Etheridge show, or any other acts coming up in the works?
There's talk about the tribute show, but I'm still undecided on that one as yet.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to ask you a really, really hard question.
Yeah.
What would be your favourite song?
Yeah, that is hard. Favourite song would have to be, funny enough, it's a Bruce Springsteen song. Yeah, Cover Me. Always gets me.
So The Boss.
The Boss.
The Boss
that
really
one
gets
song
it right.
always gets me right there. I just want to get up and dance, yeah.
Excellent. So with any of your other gigs, so where would you usually find yourself doing a show at the moment? Is there any one place where you pop up most regularly?
Yeah, I've got residency at a little bar in Preston called the End of the Line Bar, where I play every fortnight. And it is just a little bar, and it's a great atmosphere. So I'm there every fortnight on a Friday night. The Waterloo Cup, I play a duo with Mark Hughes, who's a fabulous singer-songwriter and guitarist, and he and I get together and do this duo every now and then at the Waterloo Cup in many ponds, all over the place. People can always, my gig guide's on my website, so.
Fantastic. Now, what's that website?
www.michelleparsons.com.au.
Check out that website, and